Individuals are muddled to the point that the majority of us don't grasp our sentiments and contemplations a fraction of the time. However, here we are 7.5 billion of us stuck on this stone, interfacing with one another, everybody with various objectives and values and convictions. Furthermore, we as a whole got to attempt to get along. And furthermore, certain individuals have blades and no profound response to kill. Indeed, that is the moment that I say connections. I'm discussing any sort of cooperation between individuals, companions, family, associates. At the point when you do the kisses with somebody, warnings are a term that everybody knows about. That individual undermines everybody. They've been with warning. That individual just purposes individuals for their own advantage. Warning. That individual doesn't clear off the blade subsequent to spreading margarine on toast. Also, when they go for more margarine, little scraps stall out in the tub. Red banner. However, shouldn't something be said about warnings that may beginning uncovering themselves? Whenever you've assembled in trust with somebody and have an association with when your assessment of somebody is positive, those banners can begin being neglected, or you begin saying, however, they're a decent individual. I trust them. Goodness, I mean, they would have no desire to hurt me intentionally. It's not difficult to excuse advance notice indications of an awful relationship when you have a positive perspective on somebody. However, it doesn't imply that they're not there or ought to be overlooked. They're actually being a jerk. It's simply confounded by your set of experiences together. I think most of individuals will generally be excessively great or aloof or excessively understanding. It's truly normal and simple to do thus. Harmful connections are considerably more predominant than you'd understand. Furthermore, it very well may be hard to tell what to search for. There's an opportunity you're in a harmful relationship at this moment and don't understand it. The term control gets tossed around a ton. Also, thus, I figure many individuals would feel they would have the option to distinguish control assuming it happened to themselves. Yet, it's not so natural as Shannon, Sally, or dating. Sally needs to go out with companions, Chad powers Sally to remain at home with him. Visits a controller. That is really a very normal manipulative circumstance. In any case, the manner in which control works is that it develops gradually over the long run and is essentially personal. Chad could rather begin secluding Sally from her companions by criticizing things he could do without about a unique individual at a time. I could do without how Nick converses with a ton of young ladies. It's sort of bizarre. Wouldn't you say Dawn drinks too much? It's not excessively dependable over little embeds that way can make Sally view her companions not as exceptionally individually and begin believing Chad more. A couple of months of this go by and Sally's not spending time with any of her companions any longer. Also, Chad effectively detached her, and that implies he has substantially more command over her viewpoints and feelings. It actually could believe that is not difficult to see through. Furthermore, certain individuals are better at getting on advance notice banners than others. I believe it's critical to remember that everything, in actuality, is significantly more acculturated than when we discuss them. For instance, we're raised to accept that medications are horrendous. It's essentially conditioned into us. You're at a party, the lights are blasting and somebody comes dependent upon you and goes, "Hey, kid, need to do a medication." Time dials back. The cigarette is sparkling with underhanded energy. You turn upward and out of nowhere they've developed horns and teeth. Furthermore, good gracious, it's platitude. No, that is not what happens, everything being equal. You'd be at a little social gathering with dear companions. You've had a decent night with them so far, snickering and living it up, very much like typical. One of them simply takes out a little sandwich baggie and is like, "Hey, I have Coke." There's no time slow-mo or alarms. It's a totally common inclination circumstance. And out of nowhere your cerebrum is befuddled. Drugs are awful, yet this is my companion. We've known one another since 5th grade. He's simply an ordinary buddy. He's not awful. Or then again my other companion will get it done. Your cerebrum thinks about any reason that can to excuse conduct from individuals you trust or respect, which applies to connections. Is it true or not that someone is inactive, forceful, excessively controlling? Do they use dangers like "do this," or "I'll hurt you," or even "do this," or "I'll hurt myself"? That prompts another tough spot. Assuming somebody at any point deprecated themselves, I'm pitiful. You ought to simply leave me. I will hurt myself. It sets you in a muddled position since it can feel like there's an obligation to furnish this individual with anything that they need, on the grounds that clearly you care about them and you don't like them to feel as such or even do something awful to themselves. However, this is a hard pill that you must simply swallow. You are not by answerable for anybody's joy, but rather they have genuinely terrible confidence, and I'm stressed that not answerable for anybody's satisfaction, but rather they're truly discouraged and can't resist. So I feel like in the event that I only not answerable for anybody's satisfaction, but rather I'm Santa Claus, okay. Ill-defined situation obligation. Ought not be relegated to you. Regardless of whether it makes you extremely upset to venture back. In any case, individuals typically aren't prepared to have the option to assist somebody with their issues. So it's ideal to urge them to see an expert who's been prepared to know how to deal with things. Somebody may be battling with their very own stuff, yet psychological maladjustment doesn't invalidate their obligation to keep a solid relationship. It simply implies they need to deal with themselves, which is all right, yet you needn't bother with to be a piece of that. You have your own garbage. They have their garbage. You really want to conclude the amount of their garbage you need to assist with. Try not to let them strongly push their garbage on you. I like to envision I'm my own little biological system and I put forth a valiant effort to keep up with it consistently. Assuming there's an individual or a relationship I have that simply feels like contamination in any capacity. Perhaps it got going great, however leisurely began feeling harming. Then I must simply venture back and inquire as to whether I really want to dismiss them from my planet. It sounds brutal right away, however you truly can't drop your obligation to keep up with your environment in desires to further develop somebody else's. Who will watch your environment? Nobody, since that is your obligation. Correspondence is the main method for knowing whether you can deal with fixing the relationship or need to cut it. Hello buddy, could you at any point quit unloading harmful material into my sea? You've been doing it for some time and all my charming little dolphins are passing on. Goodness wow. I didn't understand I was harming them. Please accept my apologies. How might I be better? Besides the fact that you conveyed have that there's an issue, yet the individual assumes total ownership and will deal with improving. Be that as it may, assuming they say, look, how could I should be aware? I was simply attempting to help. For what reason would you say you are so delicate? That is harmful as crap. Moving fault, gaslighting, responsibility, stumbling, cautious removal. Tell them what they're meaning for you. Put down stopping points on the amount you can give and ensure you both have your own emotionally supportive network. So you don't need to simply depend on one another. In the event that things don't change, view it your ways of behaving too. You feel like you want to legitimize or make sense of their activities to an extreme. Nobody awakens and is like, I will be really manipulative today. Contemplate your commitments to your connections and what they mean for things. It's okay to concede when you've screwed up, it's more screwed up to choose not to see and continue to be a jerk. It takes a ton to sever any kind of relationship since it can feel like a loss or like you've surrendered. Yet, now and again that is only directly up the best answer for both of you. Two individuals can be extraordinary yet not combine well as one. What's more, assuming you want to leave is hazardous for possibly you or them unexpectedly. That is a really amazing motivation to leave in any case. Somebody shouldn't at any point require you. They ought to need you, your environment ought to have the option to support itself. What's more, connections are only the little sprinkles of manure benefit for it. In the event that you feel like you're not sufficiently able to sever something, an effective method for chipping away at that is to assemble certainty, construct a decent emotionally supportive network. Journaling your contemplations, practice positive self-talk. I'm a god right now that positive. Indulge yourself as a companion. Needing the best for yourself is not childish. Particularly when somebody's here being a satisfaction of domain. Whenever you sever something with somebody, recall why things didn't work rehashed in your mind if you want to. Many individuals attempt and revive connections. At the point when the underlying issue hasn't been fixed, individuals need time to change. You don't owe somebody another opportunity. In the event that they haven't invested the energy to fix anything and you can't drive somebody to find support. In the event that you're uncertain about a relationship, ponder these inquiries. Do you put off seeing and answering them? Do you feel more awful in the wake of investing energy with them? Have they undermined you or themselves in any capacity? Did they cause you to feel like you can't get things done all alone or you can't settle on a solitary choice without them? Offer they request a great deal from courtesies or cash and don't take care of it? Did they talk gravely despite your good faith? Do you feel like you're treading lightly for them? Do they put you down? On the off chance that it's a yes to more than one of those, you ought to begin considering either finishing it or attempt to convey and determine the issues endure no contamination. You are the person who needs to live in it and you merit clean air. Large. I needed to ensure I said nothing erroneous. Obviously, I trust you're ready to take this counsel and decipher it to circumstances in your own specific manner. If you have any desire to invest a ton of time into attempting to help or show up for somebody, that is totally fine. I simply believe that individuals should know it's all right to consider yourself well. In circumstances I've met and I'm companions with such countless incredible individuals who've attempted to assist somebody they were thinking often about. However, it turned out to be excessively and begins hauling them down too. Like once you begin conversing with individuals about it, it resembles sacred poo. In a real sense, everybody's gone through something like this, and it's with such ease preventable. Assuming that you know what to search for. At any rate, gratitude for watching. I trust this helps somebody who might be listening. You're extraordinary. Converse with you later. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumb up and share with your friend. Thank you for watching.